Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, April 9th, 2020. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your latest update on what's topping the headlines related to COVID-19 coronavirus here in Ohio, and also some other news. And we also have national news here as well. So we'll start today off by letting you know the numbers that came out yesterday from the Ohio Department of Health, where we stand right now in the state of Ohio. As of right now, as of yesterday at 2 p.m., we've got 5,148 confirmed cases of COVID-19 coronavirus here in the state of Ohio. There are now a total of 193 deaths. We look at the hospitalizations. There are a total of 1,495 people currently hospitalized related to COVID-19 coronavirus, and 472 of those people are in the intensive care unit. The age of the people who have tested positive ranges from less than 1 year old all the way up to 101 years old, with the median age falling at 54 right now, and a relatively even split between males and females, 48% male and 52% female. Here in Ohio, we did get some good news. The COVID-19 projections in Ohio are down significantly for when we expect to hit that peak. So a few weeks ago, the Ohio Board of Health Director, Dr. Amy Acton, said that the projected peak numbers in Ohio when we do hit that peak would be as many as 10,000 new confirmed positive cases a day. New numbers, however, project that to be down significantly. Dr. Acton has attributed this to the aggressive physical distancing we are doing here in Ohio, being on the front end of this and being extremely proactive in terms of our precautions. So that new predicted peak, when we do hit that peak, which is now anticipated to come from mid-May to mid-June, is 1,600 new cases a day, which is still a very big number, but it is a lot less than 10,000 for sure. Now, if we look at this on a national level, new projections expect the U.S. to peak related to COVID-19 coronavirus cases next Sunday. So this is according to a study done by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. That forecast is that the U.S. will peak this Sunday with an estimated 2,212 deaths on Sunday. That's what's expected to happen over the next couple of days, as we're expected to hit that number of new deaths this weekend, which is a significant number of deaths. Factors are uncertain, however. The peak could be as many, according to this model, as 5,000 deaths. So that's a considerable range. And the model shows that the peak across the nation, if we speak to this on a national level, again, not looking here in Ohio, but on a national level, the peak for ICU beds being taken up and ventilators being needed will extend into next week. That's what's expected. Now, if we take a look at the financial impact of COVID-19 coronavirus here in the U.S., unemployment has reached a new high. A total of 16.6 million Americans are now seeking unemployment, are now out of work related to this. Just last week, 6.6 million Americans applied for unemployment benefits. According to these numbers, that means 1 in 10 Americans have lost their job in the past 3 weeks related to COVID-19 coronavirus. This also shows that, according to these estimates, now this is an alarming number, so be prepared for this, more than 20 million Americans may lose their jobs this month, in the month of April. So we'll be following that. We'll take a shift now to something that is, potentially good news for spring sports for Ohio high school athletes. The Ohio High School Athletic Association has released a potential timetable to begin spring sports. The day that they are looking for that is May 9th. Now, this depends on a lot of things. So the spring sports, just to remind you, are baseball, softball, track and field, tennis, and lacrosse. And OSHA Executive Director Jerry Snodgrass has said that they are potentially eyeing a May 9th return, but that is only if schools return to session this year. If schools do not return to session by May 4th, those spring sports will all be canceled. So keep that in mind. Now, right now, coaches and players at the high school level are in a non-contact period. That's through May 1st. So what that means is that practices and group workouts are not allowed. However, coaches are allowed to communicate with the players electronically. So that's been happening to give them workout ideas and keep them up to date on what's progressing. Now, if spring sports do return on May 9th or at a different date, if schools return before May 4th, that would of course push back the state tournaments for these sports as well. And many of these state tournaments have been going on for over 100 years, almost 100 years. So it would definitely be unprecedented for them to be canceled, but we've seen a lot of unprecedented cancellation, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. So again, that is contingent on schools returning back to session by May 4th. All right, now let's switch gears completely and tell you an interesting story, kind of bring things up a little bit. So if you are familiar, like many people are, with the Tiger King documentary on Netflix, which is about Joe Exotic, who is a big cat breeder, and Carol Baskin, who runs a cat rescue, and their sort of battle between each other. I won't give away too many spoilers here, but 3 News' Drew Haransky talked to a local person who worked with Joe Exotic, Josh Bethel of Findlay, Ohio. So Josh Bethel worked with Joe Exotic from 2009 to 2011 as Exotic's magic assistant, and in that role he collected donations and made sure that people weren't bitten by the animals that they took on the road. And Bethel also worked in the compound in Oklahoma that we see on the documentary Tiger King, but Bethel said he was fired after he took pictures of the facility, which apparently is not permitted. But here's what Bethel had to say about Joe Exotic. He says that they are on good terms. And if you haven't seen Tiger King yet and you're not aware of the storyline, plug your ears right for this moment, because Joe Bethel has an opinion, and he believes that Joe Exotic is innocent and he did not ever hire a hitman to try and have someone murdered. He said he doesn't believe that it happened. He thinks that he was framed, and it's a lot of conspiracy theories about his former boss. Bethel also said that working for Joe Exotic was hard, but he never witnessed any animal abuse, and he would do it all over again. If you want to see that full conversation, you're going to want to head to WKYC.com and our WKYC app. You're not going to want to miss that one. It's a great story from Drew Haransky. All right, I'm Stephanie Haney. This has been your 11 a.m. update. I'll be back here at 2 p.m. with those latest numbers from the Ohio Department of Health. In the meantime, you can catch 3 Connect on 3 News, also on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, our Facebook and YouTube pages. That's with Jay Crawford and our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, who will be answering your coronavirus questions there. And I will see you all back here at 2 o'clock.